Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? Another day, another dollar. It's kind of what it feels like. It almost feels like I'm going back to work again. You know how, but this is what we do. I love it. And you know what they say, a bad day fishing is better than a good day working. So, I'll take this any day of the week. We take the good with the bad. Some days we can't do no wrong. Some days we can't do no right. And some days we just have to sit back and wait, longer just to get a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars there. But we're in the game. We're living the life. And that's what matters here. So if you remember yesterday on the SPY, we talked about this candle and how, we did this big dip. It got aggressively bought up. And we closed above the 5-day. We kind of opened this morning with a gap up right around the 480 mark that we were looking at. I thought maybe it would hit it at pre-market and we'd sell off during the day. But basically we hit it at the open and then it started to sell off, after 10:30 or so. And we had a nice sell off all day. And then the last hour or two, we got aggressively bought back up. And we closed above the 5-day moving average. So it's pretty good. It's pretty bullish that we closed back above the 5-day. 5-day is the most aggressive moving average, that we use on the daily chart. And, this is showing that the bulls came back in, and said, oh, hell no, you're not going down. And it kind of held it back up. So tomorrow we're going to be looking to see where the market is, when I get up in the morning. Give me an idea of where, things may be headed right now. But right now I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to try to guess. All I can do is look at what the technical analysis is telling me, and it's telling me that we're still bullish. Even though we had a red candle day, but this is the weakest. This is the strongest of all of the red candles. If you remember, when we talked about the candlesticks in, I think it was our second Thursday webinar, we talked about the candlesticks and what they mean. And, this tells us a lot. The fact that we closed over the 5-day, and then we have the strongest in terms of the bullish of all of the bearish candles, if that makes sense. Maybe that'll make better sense to you. But that's where we're at right now in the market. It's been a pretty interesting day. On the first trade out of the gate, this was my opening range breakdown. This strategy just failed today on this move. Eventually it worked, but it failed in terms of it reversed so bad that I almost lost twice as much as what I was wanting to lose. That's just how bad it ripped up on me. And this is one of the bad examples of not putting in a hard stop. I'm at the point where I don't feel I need to put in a hard stop. I can stop out when I'm supposed to. But, once every blue moon, we do get a stock that just rips up like this, and I end up losing a little more than I should. But it doesn't happen often. And I'd rather this happen to me every blue moon than, me getting popped out, every now and then and not really maximizing the strategy here. So, even though this popped up, you can see the trend was still in play. If I was still watching this stock, I think I was trading another stock at the time, but this gave a pretty good, pretty good trade here. Pretty decent trade. So, but I was in another stock, and I can't cry over spilt milk, but I did, see something going on here. I got kind of a scoop on what should be happening with this stock over the next couple of days. I took this trade in the wrong account. So, this is sitting here. I'm still in it. I'm not out of it. I'm going to add some more size to it and, play out just, what we're going to have. But just don't worry about that. I just explain that because you're going to see that here in this recap. What was the next trade? PayPal. PayPal was another one. I got in it. We sold off. And, here at this point, I was just a little bit shell-shocked still. I didn't have to bail out here. But because this thing turned around and ripped up on me, I was still dealing with the fallout from the SE trade. I bailed out. And you can see this ended up being a really nice trade as well. I could have been in the first target, second target, never came back close to break even. I mean, this would have been a really, really nice trade. Unfortunately, that the previous trade still has some residual effect from it. Sometimes it is hard to get stuff like that out of your mind and shaken off so that you can get back in the game. But you're going to see I kind of dealt with that issue throughout the morning. So the best trade of the day was, well, not the best trade, but the second best trade of the day was MRNA. We all know how volatile MRNA is. Here I'm thinking, we have some pretty solid red candles coming down. I get in this. This is solid red. We hit the pre-market low. That's where I took profit. And it bounced back, stopped me out at break even. And then turned around and headed south again. So once we broke this, I went ahead and got in. Took it off. I didn't mean to take the whole thing off. I meant to just take 200 shares. But then I turned around and got short, looking for, the rest of the move. And we ended up getting stalled out before we could test 225. And it bounced. And I took it off. And so that was that. Pretty decent trade here. Just bad luck that the volatility crept in right when I got in. I got in at a point where, nobody should have really been messing with it, but, it is what it is. Next trade was SQ. Now, SQ was the best trade of the day. Hands down. Like, we missed the opening range trade on it. And then I waited for it to take out the 52-week low, which was just 157.57. This was on radar this morning because of the 52-week low. And I wish I had just had laser focus on this, because this would have been a trade that could have made my whole day, a whole week, really. But I got in here on the break of the 52-week low. And again, that residual effect from that first trade was still hanging around me. And I end up taking this off at break even. And then I turned around and got back in once we took the low out again. Once we confirmed, I added to it. Took some profit at the first target, second target, third target. And, it never got to 150. My final target was 150. It did bounce. It did pull back. But just never got to that 150 mark. Let's straighten this out. And so you could see this is kind of where this was the channel that it kind of formed here, and we kind of traded inside of this the whole time. But I really like this trade. I don't think I could have done anything any different. So was happy to end the day with this trade, and it kind of brought me back green. We did a little bit better than yesterday. I think we did. What did I do yesterday? Let's go on the sheet. 364.71. Today we did 444.52. So, we're not having the $1,800, $1,500 days. The market's not there for that right now. We take what the market gives us. At the end of the week, you'll be surprised at where we end up with these days. So hopefully that'll give you some confidence that it's not about how much money you make, but it's how consistently you make it. And, it's going to determine how far you go in this. So that wraps it up for me today. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will catch you tomorrow.